Welcome back to MonsterTamer, a 2D Pokemon-like RPG created Phaser 3. Previously, we reviewed our new feature for our cutscenes and our in-game events that we will be building. If you missed the previous videos, there'll be links in the video description to the source code at this point, as well as the complete source code for this video. There'll also be a link to the previous videos if you'd like to catch up, so let's get started. So for our new feature, our first task is we're going to work on updating our logic that's tied to our NPCs and their animation. Currently in our game, we only have one NPC that moves around, and so in our NPC class, we have some logic tied to the animation key that's used that's hard-coded just for this one NPC. With our new events system, we're going to have other NPCs moving around, and to support other NPCs in the future that'll move around our game, we want to add in support for being able to have that animation be a little bit more dynamic. So currently in our NPC class, under our move character method, when our character is moving, we have this prefix of NPC_1, and so that means any NPC that moves around will use this animation key, and so to make this dynamic, we need to pass in this prefix when we create an instance of our NPC class. So to help keep our animation structured, we're going to expect our animation keys to always have a prefix of whatever unique identifier we have for NPC, and then they'll have a suffix of _1_ the direction that NPC is moving. And so by following this pattern, we can still keep our animations dynamic like this, where we use our direction, but it will also allow for flexibility of any NPC we want to add in the future. To add support for this prefix, let's come to the top of our class, and in our configuration for our NPC, let's add a new property. So we'll do add property. For our type, this will be a string, and we'll call this animation key prefix. Let's add this as a property to our class. So I'm just going to copy this here. We'll paste it. Now let's add in our type. So I'm going to copy this here. This will be a string. Now if we come down into our constructor, after we set our events, let's set our new property. So we'll have an animation key prefix, and we'll set it equal to our config animation key prefix. Now down in our code where we have our animations for moving our character, we just need to update this to use that new prefix. Let's add in our variables. We'll do this. We'll do our animation prefix. Then we'll follow it by our direction that we expect. And then we'll add in our underscore. So let's copy this. We'll update that here. All right, now let's just update it for our direction left. So let's copy this part of our code. Let's paste it in, and we'll paste it in here as well. So now that we updated our NPC class, let's update our world scene where we create instances of our NPC. So I'm just going to copy this animation key prefix here. Let's open up our world scene. Come down to our code where we create our NPCs. So when we do our new NPC, let's add in our new property. All right, now for our value, let's do our NPC details, and then let's add in our animation key prefix. So to fix this, we just need to update our types for NPC details. So let's jump over to our typedef.js file real quick. If we go to our type definition for our NPC detail, right above our events, we'll add in our new type. So let's copy our property here. We'll paste that in. We'll make this a string. For this, we'll do our animation key prefix. So I'm just going to copy this. We'll paste it over here. Let's save. Now we need to update our JSON file to have that. So we come into our JSON. Right after our frame for our NPC, let's add in our prefix. And for the time being, let's just do NPC_1. All right, so I'm just going to copy this. Let's add that to our other NPCs. And we won't worry about our value for the time being. We just want to test our code, make sure everything's working. So if we come back to our game, let's refresh our browser. We'll do new game. We should see that our NPC still shows up and he still moves around our scene. If we go into our building, we'll see the mom NPC is present and we still have the correct texture for that NPC. Now I'm just going to move down a little bit and make sure our other NPC is still present. All right, so to keep our code clean, we actually want to create animations for each of our various NPCs, and if they're idle, they won't actually use them, but if they do move around, we'll want to have that correct prefix based on the frame for our character. So if we open up our animations JSON file right now, we have this NPC_1 right, up, and down that defines our frames for our current NPC. So in our character's PNG sprite sheet, that's currently referencing this NPC here, and we're calling him NPC1. And so those frames represent the various animations that make up him moving around our scene. And so now we want to do the same thing for our other NPCs. And so we're going to have this NPC here where we want to create our animations. We'll also have our NPC here for our mom. And then later on, as we add other characters, we'll also want their animations as well. And so to keep things clean, we're going to update NPC1 to reflect our first NPC here. 2 will reflect this NPC, 3 will reflect this one, and then so on. That way we don't start at 1 down here, then have to jump up to 2. It'll just be easier to understand in our code if we just start at 1 at the top. To make that change, we just need to change our animation prefix here to be NPC3. So let's go into our animations JSON file. Let's change this to be NPC underscore 3. We'll do that for each of our animations. So if we come back to our NPC's JSON file, we'll need to update our NPC2 to have our NPC underscore 3. If we save, let's do new game, our NPC should be added, and as he moves around the scene, he's using the correct animation. Now to add in the rest of our animations for our other NPCs, we'll just do our first 5 NPCs here. We need to come into our animations JSON file. Let's copy our 3 objects here for our NPC3. Let's go ahead and paste that in. Let's update our key. So we'll do NPC1 right, NPC1 up, and NPC1 down. Now we just need to update our frames that are associated with our NPCs. Currently our sprite sheet is set up so there's 10 frames in a row. So we'll have 0 through 9, and then we'll have 10 through 19, and then so on and so forth. So for our first NPC, we can just update this to be 8, 2, and then 9. For NPC1 up, it'll be 6, 1, 7. For NPC1 down, this will be 4, 0, and 5. Now we just need to repeat this pattern for other NPCs. I'm going to minimize these 3 objects. I'm going to copy them, paste them one more time. This will be NPC2. For our frames, it'll be 18, 12, and 19. We'll have 16, 11, and 17, 14, 10, and 15. Now we just need to do NPC4. So we'll do NPC4 right, NPC4 up, NPC4 down. For our frames, we'll do 38, 32, 39, 36, 31, and 37. Then we'll have 34, 30, and 35. Let's do one more NPC, so we'll do NPC5. We're going to copy these 3. I'm going to paste it down here. So we'll have NPC5. Now for our frames, we'll do 48, 42, 49, 46, 41, and 47. And now we have 44, 40, and 45. Let's save. If we want to test, let's jump over to our NPC's JSON file. I'm going to update this to be NPC1. If we save, let's come back to our game. If we do a new game, we'll see when our NPC moves is now using our animation for our first NPC. If we do 2, we should now have the animation for the old man NPC. Let's do 4. You should see the mom NPC. And we'll do one more test. Let's do our NPC 5. Let's refresh, do new game. And now we'll have our professor NPC moving around. Nice. All right, so let's revert this back to NPC 3. We'll save our changes. We'll come back to our game. And we should see when our NPC moves, we're using the correct animation. All right, so with that refactor, now we can have any of our NPCs be animated in our game. And all we need to do is make sure we have the correct starting frame and then the correct animation prefix. And then when we structure our animations, we just want to make sure we have the same prefix for the animations that make up that character. And then we'll want to have our suffix for the direction of that animation. All right, with that brings this video to an end. In our next video, we're going to continue working on our cutscenes and in-game events feature, and we'll focus on updating our map data in tiled to have our new event objects. So as a reminder, there's a link in the description of the video to the complete source code for this video, and as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did enjoy the video, please consider liking the video and hitting the bell icon to be notified when the next video in the series is released. For more great Phaser 3 content, please see some links on your screen now.